fucking phone all the time. That's the phone is the big one, right?
Well, the phone is the gift and the curse. You know, I think that we shot out the gate and saw the gift. Oh my God, it's community, it's connecting us. We're able to share, we're able to meet new people, we're able to stay in communication with old people, find new people. As an entertainer, I can engage with my fans, and this is so dope. And then after that, you get hit with the curse. And the curse is there's a high level of negativity that's out there that's on that shit. You know, there's a lot of people that are, you know, not happy or going through things, and they interject a certain amount of negativity and hatred through these devices. Yeah. These devices are the easiest way to touch everybody. So when you're just consumed on that shit all day, you start to see yourself being a part of the negative shit. Yeah. So what I've learned to do is go, I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that shit. I don't pay that any mind. I don't read that shit for what? It's not helping me. It's not making me better. It's not pushing me to new limits. If anything, it's taking up just creative space by me literally spending time going and navigating through what I think is a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. So I don't let the device beat me. And at one point, I definitely did. At one point, it was everything. It was, you know. Now I separated. I know.
How'd you break clear of it?
When you realize what it is, when you see the bad, you know, when you see the bad side of it. I thought the other day, this is some real shit, and it really made me think. My phone died. And I'm driving, and I was using the fucking maps. And I was like, oh, shit. What the fuck? How am I going to get to where? I don't know where I'm going. And I sat and I was like, yo, how did we get from point A to point B before the map shit? What were we doing? That I used to print out directions from Google Maps. I remember that. But then before that, how did you get to the places where you were going that you didn't know how to get to? I don't even remember.
Do you remember Thomas guides? Did you ever have a Thomas guide?
I did have a Thomas guide.
When I first moved to LA, I had to get one of those.
I did have a Thomas guide.
Giant ass book.
100%.
Bill Burr had one until like 3 years ago.
Bill probably still uses it. Shouts out to Bill Burr. But it really fucked me up because I was like, we don't even know how to do the common. Yeah. The norm anymore, because the device has made everything available, and I literally had to drive to a store where I could buy a charger, charge up my phone to get back and use the map to get to where the fuck I was going, because I had no idea how to get there. I didn't know no numbers by heart. I didn't know who I was gonna call. What phone? Like, yo, this was the moment where I was like, what level of success have I reached? I just pulled over and I sat there and I was like, how the fuck am I gonna get to where I'm going?
You should have a spare phone, man.
I don't know what it was.
You need a backup phone.
It felt like the end of the world. It felt like it was over. I was like, shit.
Isn't that crazy how dependent you are?
But that's when the light bulb started to click.
Yeah.
It started to click. Like, how did we function without? I want to go backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still there. I still need it. I still think it's dope with all of the things that we can do on it, but I still want to be able to put it down and step away from it. I want my kids to be able to step away from it. That's why when I come in the house, my phone is up. Because I can't bitch and complain at y'all about being on your phone if you see me doing the same thing.
Right.
So that time, those conversations, me wanting to know about your day, you talking to me about your day, your friends, who you like, who don't you like. My daughter, you, what boy, who, what, huh? No. All right, God. My son, yeah, I like somebody. Who? Oh, Jesus, here it comes. It's a great thing. And I want to be able to have those moments. And, you know, I think it's big to make sure that you prioritize that.
Are you worried about what comes next?
100%.
I'm worried there's something going to be way more intrusive than that.
It's what do you mean? It's already happening.
Yeah.
The biggest scare happened already with the FaceTime shit that happened where.
What happened?
Well, Apple on the iPhones, it was like people could listen into your.
Oh yeah, if you didn't even pick up, they could FaceTime you.
They could just listen into it.
Yeah.
And you know that was the scariest shit ever, because if it's that easy to have a bug like that, what's the thing that's not a bug that's there that you just don't know about?
Oh, there's definitely government listening to us right
100%.
now. Yeah,
100%.
Recording everything everybody says, and then in case one day you do something wrong,
they'll
pull
to
you
it.
aside. Mr. Hart, we'd like you to sit down for a minute. We're going to play you something.
100%.
Yeah.
So the fear is the next level of
immersion,
intrusive. You know,
yeah.
I think everything has become intrusive now. Like the toughest thing for me is that there is no privacy outside my home.
Right.
You know, the amount of money that you have to now spend just on security, on, you know, people to be with me, security to be on my home. You know, it's like there literally is no privacy. And it's not that I bitch and complain about it, because without the fans, without the people that support me, I wouldn't be where I am. But there's no middle ground.
Right.
You know, there is no handshakes anymore. It's how you doing?
Right.
And it's like, a handshake is so much better to get a moment. Like we can talk if that's what you want. No, yo, say it now. Well, it's kind of weird because you're doing this to me. It's kind of weird to have a conversation. So you're just starting to see yourself become a little older and wiser, and just really see the times for what they are, and see the direction that we're going in as people, and just hope and pray that we find a middle ground, because I think right now there isn't one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling now.
No, I feel it too. And I especially, I mean, what you're talking about is you being super famous and losing all your privacy, but everyone's losing their privacy.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. It's happening to you because you're very famous, and because you do something that's in the public eye, and people want to see you and they want to stick that camera in front of you. But there's going to come a point in time where what we're dealing with now, which is like you have to turn your phone on, you have to reach out to somebody, you have to put something up. That step's going to be out of the way, and it's just going to be people being able to access your life.
Yeah, you know the bad. Here's what I'll say that's bad. That really fucks with me. I don't like that negativity is the want.
Yeah.
Like the thing that's popular is the failure, the fuck up, you know, the fight that I can catch, the hateful moment that I can catch and post. Like the bad is being highlighted and celebrated. That's what fucks with me with the social media shit now. What really bothers me is, you know, when you see these things online, like, you know, a fight and there's a man hitting a woman and it's captured.
Right.
That's bad. The bad thing is that you watched, that the video was more important than the actual help.
Right.
Or the moment to step in. And, you know, when you see these things where you're catching people do these things to kids and it's caught, the moment of what you got and what you want to post and get likes or whatever on is the focus instead of the help.
Yeah.
And that's the part that is just, I just have a hard time processing. I have a hard time processing what the likes mean to certain people.
Well, you get an extraordinary amount of attention, so it doesn't mean anything to you the way it means something to a regular person. But to a regular person, if they can catch some world star video and put it up there like, dude, that's my video. That's my video. Look, my video got 5 million hits.
Yeah.
My video has gone viral. My video's everywhere. For them, it's like it's a point of excitement. That's why when they see you, they're like, oh shit, how often are they going to run into Kevin Hart at, you know, Costco or wherever the fuck you were?
I got definitely run into me on you know, I'm in a bathroom restaurant, and I go to the bathroom. You know, by the way that I went to the bathroom, you could definitely tell I had the shit. I was moving fast. I was, you know, it was one of those abrupt, you know, while you're eating. I'm eating bad, so I didn't eat bad in a while. My stomach immediately said, this is not going to happen today. So I get up and I go, and literally like 3 seconds, I hear it as I'm walking. Oh, there go Kev Hart. And as I'm walking by, a guy gets up, follows me in the bathroom, and he's like, yo, I gotta get a picture, man. And I said, let me go to the bathroom. When I'm done, I'll take a picture with you. I go to the bathroom. This is a true story. Hand on the Bible. Hand on the Bible. I assume the guy is outside the bathroom. Because as I'm going, I see him and I say what I say. I get done. I go to the sink, wash my hands. He was just sitting behind the wall, and he's like got his phone out. And I'm like, did he just tape me while I was shitting? Did he put the phone over the thing? Oh, Jesus. Like, I'm about to be on, oh my God, it's over. This is it. This is my nightmare. Here we go. They're about to put something up of me shitting. It's the bottom of my feet. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But he just waited, and that moment was so important that he was in the bathroom. And as soon as I got come on, let's take it. I said, let's go outside the bathroom.
Yeah.
Let's take a picture. That's a bathroom. I said, I'm not going nowhere. I'm a nice guy, man. I'm going to take the picture. He's like, I just ain't want to lose you. And I'm like, there's not even a thought. There's not even a thought about it's a bathroom.
Right. How weird is that?
It's a bathroom, man. This is a pretty fucking weird moment, man. This is weird.
Following you, waiting for you to shit.
You just waited for me to finish shit, and I don't know what you got on your phone.
Right.
You're too big for me to ask to go through your phone, so I can't. Whatever you got, you got. But I had to go out and take the picture, and I remember going back to the table just like, what's happening? What's happening?
Strange.
At this point, what is happening?
Yeah, that didn't exist before. I think if you were famous before, people just wanted to get an autograph or shake your hand.
We're past the autograph stage.
When was the last time you get an autograph?
It's been a while. It's been a while. I don't think I would know how to write it. I don't think I would know what to put down. It's been a minute, man.
Yeah.
And I want to make this very clear. You know,
You're
it's
not complaining.
I don't knock it.
Yeah.
You know, I understand. Like, once again, I want people to, more importantly, understand the fact that I welcome it.
Yeah.
I welcome the moment that I can talk and converse with the fan. But it should be that. Like, it's
normal. Like two people.
The moments are better when they're real, you know? And after a real moment, you get a picture because you're like, yo, he was actually a nice guy. Or I had no idea that you would be this calm and cool. You don't even get to see how genuine of a person I am because the first thing you do, you stick the camera in the face. And that's when people think that you're an asshole because they have the intrusive moment that then gets met with a can you please, I'm sorry, you don't have to stick it in my face. Damn, you ain't gotta be like that. Wait a minute.
They look for that too. They look to turn on you.
Because now you get your moment.
Yeah.
You look for the negative moment.
When did shit start getting weird for you? Like, how many years in?
I don't know, it's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty crazy for like the last 4 to 5. The last 4 to 5 years. And the last 3, you know, it's gotten insane. Because now, you know, you're on an international level. So it's global. And the following is bigger. And it's all ages, which is really, really good. But I think, you know, for comedians, it's a different thing because you feel like you know comedians. You know, you're laughing, we're in your homes, everything is met with warmth. So when you see a comedian, especially if you're a fan of a comedian, you're associating everything with funny and you're just looking for the funny moment.
Right.
You're looking past the normal moment. You know, it's like you almost are frowned upon if you're normal, if you're just chill.
Right.
Because everybody wants the funny moment.
Right. They thought you were going to be funny all the time.
It's like I'm supposed to pop lock, you know, right on site. You know, like if it's 2 a.m. and you run into me, and I say, "Hey, how you doing, man?" That's not enough.
Because it's not like this technology is really. I mean, it's certainly enhancing our lives in a certain way, but ultimately, is it making people happier right now? Most technology, I would say no. In fact, you and I were talking about social media before this, about just not having Instagram on your phone and not dealing, and you feel better.
Yes, I think that one of the issues with social media that's been pointed out by many people is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do.
Right.
So
by design.
Yeah, people are posting pictures of when they're really happy. They're modifying those pictures to be better looking. Even if they're not modifying the pictures, they're at least selecting the pictures for the best lighting, the best angle. So people basically seem they're way better looking than they basically really are.
Right.
And they're way happier seeming than they really are. So if you look at everyone on Instagram, you might think, man, there are all these happy, beautiful people, and I'm not that good looking and I'm not happy. So I must suck, and that's going to make people sad. So when in fact, those people you think are super happy, actually not that happy. Some of them are really depressed. They're very sad. Some of the happiest seeming people, actually some of the saddest people in reality. And nobody looks good all the time. It doesn't matter who you are.
No. It's not even something you should want. Why do you want to look great all the time?
Yeah, exactly. So I think things like that can make people quite sad.
Well,
just by comparison, because you just sort of people generally think of themselves relative to others. We are constantly rebaselining our expectations, and you can see this, say, if you watch some show like Naked and Afraid, or if you just go and try living in the woods by yourself for a while, and you'll learn that civilization is quite great. It has a lot of it. People want to come back to civilization pretty fast on Naked and Afraid.
Wasn't that a Thoreau quote? The comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah. Well, happiness is reality minus expectations.
That's great too. But the comparison is a thief of joy really holds true to people. Is it?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. Fascinating. When you're thinking about Instagram, because what essentially Instagram is with a lot of people is you're giving them the opportunity to be their own PR agent, and they always go towards the glamorous, And when anybody does show, hashtag no filter, if they really do that, like, oh, you're so brave, look at you, no makeup,
Yeah.
They look good anyway. You look great. What are you doing? Oh my God, you don't have makeup on. You still look hot as fuck. You know what you're doing. I know what you're doing too. They're letting you know. And then they're feeding off that comment section. Ooh, just a little sitting there like it's a fresh stream of love. Like you're getting right up to the source as it comes out of the earth, and you're sucking that
lot of
sweet
emojis.
love water.
Emojis.
Yeah.
A lot of emojis.
My concern is not so much what Instagram is that I didn't think that people had the need for this or the expectation for some sort of technology that allows them to constantly get love and adulation from strangers and comments and this ability to project this sort of distorted version of who you really are. But I worry about where it goes. Like, what's the next one? Like, where is it? Is it going to be augmented? Some sort of a weird augmented or virtual sort of Instagram type situation where you're not going to want to live in this real world. You're going to want to interface with this sort of world that you've created through your social media page. It's some next level thing.
Go live in the simulation.
Yeah, maybe
in the simulation.
Some Ready Player One type shit that's real. That seems, we have that HTC Vive here, and I've only done it a couple times.
Corny.
It does sound corny,
but love is the answer.
It is the answer.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It sounds corny because we're all scared. We're all scared of trying to love people, being rejected, or someone taking advantage of you because you're trying to be loving.
Sure.
But if we all could just relax and love each other.
Wouldn't hurt to have more love in the world.
It definitely wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah. I agree, man.
Like, really.
How are you going to fix that? You have a love machine that you're working on?
No, but probably spend more time with your friends and less time on social media.
Now, deleting social media from your applications, from your phones, does that give you a 10% boost to happiness? What do you think the percentage is?
I think probably something like that. Yeah, that's about right.
Good 10%.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I've kept is Twitter because I kind of need some means of getting a message out.
Right.
Well, that's about it. So far, so good.
Well, what's interesting with you actually occasionally engage with people on Twitter.
Yeah, it's.
What percentage of that is a good idea?
Good question.
Probably 10%, right? It's hard.
It's mostly. I think it's on balance more good than bad, but there's definitely some bad. So,
do you ever?
Hopefully, the good outweighs the bad.
Do you ever think about how odd it is, the weird feeling that you get when someone says something shitty to you on Twitter and you read it? The weird feeling? This weird little negative jolt. It's like a subjective negative jolt of energy that you don't really need to absorb, but you do anyway. Like, well, fuck this guy. Fuck him.
I mean, there's a lot of negativity on Twitter.
It is, but it's a weird, it's in its form. Like the way, if you ingest it, if you're like, you try to be like a little scientist as you're ingesting it, you're like, what? How weird is this? And I'm even getting upset at some strange person saying something mean to me. It's not even accurate.
I mean, there are a vast number of negative comments. So for the vast majority of, I just ignore them. The vast majority.
Yeah.
But every now and again, you get drawn in. It's not good.
It's not good.
Make mistakes.
Yes, you can make mistakes.
You can make some mistakes.
We're all human. We can make mistakes. Yeah. It's hard. And people love it when you say something and you take it back. And they're like, fuck you. We saved it forever. We'll fucking screenshot that shit, bitch. You had that thought. You had that thought. You're like, well, I deleted it. Not good enough. You had the thought. I'm better than you. I never had that thought. You had that thought, you piece of shit. Look, I saved it. I put it on my blog.
Yeah, I'm not sure why people think that anyone would think that deleting a tweet makes it go away. It's like, hello, been on the internet for a while.
Yeah. Well, it's even like the thing is they don't want you to be able to delete it. Because the problem is, if you don't delete it and you don't believe it anymore, it's really hard to say, hey, that thing above, I don't really believe that anymore. I changed the way I view things.
Yes.
Because people go, well, fuck you. I already have that over there. I'm going to just take that. I'm not going to pay attention to that shit you wrote underneath it.
It's on your permanent record.
It's forever, bro.
Like
it's a
high school.
Tattoo.
We'll put this on your permanent record.
Yeah. It's like a tattoo. You keep it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's this thing where there's a lack of compassion. It's a lack of compassion issue. People are just like intentionally shitty to each other all the time online and trying to catch people.
Yeah.
They're more trying to catch people doing something that's arrestable, like a cop trying to like get arrests on his record. It's like they're trying to catch you with something more than they're logically looking at it, thinking it's a bad thing that you've done. Or that it's an idea they don't agree with so much they need to insult you. They're trying to catch you.
Yeah. I mean, it's way easier to be mean on social media than it is to be mean in person.
Yes.
Way easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's weird. It's not a normal way of human interacting. It's cheating. True. We're not supposed to be able to interact so easily with people we're not looking at.
Yes.
You would never do that. You'd never be so mean to someone who's looking in their eyes. And if you did, you'd feel like shit.
Most people.
Yeah, unless you're a sociopath, you'd feel terrible.
Yes.
Elon Musk.
I want to deliver two messages. The first message I want to deliver is that even though I've never had a social media account, I'm okay. You don't have to worry. It turns out I still have friends. I still know what's going on in the world. As a computer scientist, I still collaborate with people all around the world. I'm still regularly exposed serendipitously to interesting ideas, and I rarely describe myself as lacking in entertainment options. So I've been okay, but I'd go even farther. I'd go even farther and say not only am I okay without social media, but I think I'm actually better off. I think I'm happier. I think I find more sustainability in my life, and I think I've been more successful professionally because I don't use social media. So my second goal here on stage is to try to convince more of you to believe the same thing. To see if I could actually convince more of you that you too would be better off if you quit social media. So if the theme of this TEDx event is future tense, I guess in other words, this would be my vision of the future, would be one in which fewer people actually use social media. Okay, so that's a big claim. I think I need to back it up some. I thought what I would do is take the three most common objections I hear when I suggest to people that they quit social media. And then for each of these objections, I'll try to defuse the hype and see if I can actually push in some more reality. So this is the first most common objection I hear. That's not a hermit. That's actually a hipster web developer down from 8th Street. I'm not sure. Hipster or hermit, sometimes it's hard to tell. So this first objection goes as follows. Cal, social media is one of the fundamental technologies of the 21st century. To reject social media would be an act of extreme Luddism. It would be like riding to work in a horse or using a rotary phone. I can't take such a big stance in my life. So my reaction to that objection is, I think that is nonsense. Social media is not a fundamental technology. It leverages some fundamental technologies, but it's better understood as this, which is to say it's a source of entertainment. It's an entertainment product. The way the technologist Jaron Lanier puts it is that these companies offer you shiny treats in exchange for minutes of your attention and bytes of your personal data, which can then be packaged up and sold. So to say that you don't use social media should not be a large social stance. It's just rejecting one form of entertainment for others. It should be no more controversial than saying, I don't like newspapers, I like to get my news from magazines, or I prefer to watch cable series as opposed to network television series. It's not a major political or social stance to say you don't use this product. My use of the slot machine image up here also is not accidental, because if you look a little bit closer at these technologies, it's not just that they're a source of entertainment, but they're actually a somewhat unsavory source of entertainment. You know, we now know that many of the major social media companies hire individuals called attention engineers who borrow principles from Las Vegas casino gambling, among other places, to try to make these products as addictive as possible. That is the desired use case of these products, is that you use it in an addictive fashion because that maximizes the profit that can be extracted from your attention and data. So it's not a fundamental technology, it's just a source of entertainment, one among many, and it's somewhat unsavory if you look a little bit closer. So here's the second common objection I hear when I suggest that people quit social media. The objection goes as follows: Cal, I can't quit social media because it is vital to my success in the 21st century economy. If I do not have a well-cultivated social media brand, people won't know who I am, people won't be able to find me, opportunities won't come my way, and I will effectively disappear from the economy. So again, my reaction is, once again, this objection also is nonsense. So I recently published this book that draws on multiple different strands of evidence to make the point that in a competitive 21st century economy, what the market values is the ability to produce things that are rare and are valuable. If you can produce something that's rare and is valuable, the market will value that. What the market dismisses, for the most part, are activities that are easy to replicate and produce a small amount of value. Well, social media use is the epitome of an easy-to-replicate activity that does not directly produce a lot of value. It's something that any 16-year-old with a smartphone can do. By definition, the market is not going to give a lot of value to those behaviors. It's instead going to reward the deep, concentrated work required to build real skills and to apply those skills to produce things like a craftsman that are rare and that are valuable. To put it another way, if you can write an elegant algorithm, if you can write a legal brief that can change a case, if you can write 1,000 words of prose that's going to fixate a reader right to the end, if you can look at a sea of ambiguous data and apply statistics and pull out insights that could transform a whole business strategy, if you can do these type of activities which require deep work that produce outcomes that are rare and valuable, people will find you. You will be able to write your own ticket. You will be able to build the foundation of a very meaningful and successful professional life, regardless of how many Instagram followers you have. So this is the third common objection I hear when I suggest to people that they quit social media. And in some sense, I think it might be one of the most important. So this objection goes as follows: Cal, maybe I agree with you. Maybe you're right. It's not a fundamental technology. Maybe using social media is not at the core of my professional success. But you know what? It's harmless. I have some fun on it. Weird Twitter is funny. I don't even really use it that much. I'm a first adopter. It's just kind of interesting to try it out. And maybe I might miss out on something if I don't use it. What's the harm? So again, I look back and I say, this objection also is nonsense. In this case, what it misses is what I think is a very important reality that we need to talk about more frankly, which is that social media brings with it multiple, well-documented, significant harms. And we actually have to confront these harms head-on when trying to make decisions about whether or not we embrace this technology and let it into our lives. So one of these harms that we know this technology brings has to do with your professional success. So I just argued before that the ability to focus intensely to produce things that are rare and valuable, to hone skills that the marketplace values, that this is what's going to matter in our economy. But right before that, I argued that social media tools are designed to be addictive. The actual desired use case of these tools is that you fragment your attention as much as possible throughout your waking hours. That's how these tools are designed to use. Well, we have a growing amount of research which tells us that if you spend large portions of your day in a state of fragmented attention, so large portions of your day where you're constantly breaking up your attention, take a quick glance, do a just check, let me just quickly look at Instagram, that this can permanently reduce your capacity for concentration. In other words, you could permanently reduce your capacity to do exactly the type of deep effort that we're finding to be more and more necessary in an increasingly competitive economy. So social media use is not harmless. It can actually have a significant negative impact on your ability to thrive in the economy. I am especially worried about this when we look at the younger generation coming up, which is the most saturated in this technology. If you lose your ability to sustain concentration, you're going to become less and less relevant to this economy. There's also psychological harms that are well documented that social media brings that we do need to address. So we know from the research literature that the more you use social media, the more likely you are to feel lonely or isolated. We know that the constant exposure to your friends' carefully curated positive portrayals of their life can leave you to feel inadequate and can increase rates of depression. And something I think we're going to be hearing more about in the near future is that there's a fundamental mismatch between the way our brains are wired and this behavior of exposing yourself to stimuli with intermittent rewards throughout all of your waking hours. So it's one thing to spend a couple hours at the slot machine in Las Vegas, but if you bring a slot machine with you and you pull that handle all day long from when you wake up to when you go to bed, we're not wired from it. It short circuits the brain, and we're starting to find that it has actual cognitive consequences, one of them being this sort of pervasive background hum of anxiety. Now, the canary in the coal mine for this issue is actually college campuses. If you talk to mental health experts on college campuses, they'll tell you, along with the rise of ubiquitous smartphone use and social media use among the students on the campus came an explosion of anxiety-related disorders on those campuses. So that's the canary in the coal mine. This type of behavior is a mismatch for our brain wiring. It can make you feel miserable. So there's real cost to social media use, which means when you're trying to decide, should I use this or not, saying it's harmless is not enough. You actually have to identify a significantly positive, clear benefit that can outweigh these potential, completely non-trivial harms. So people often ask, okay, but what is life like without social media? That can actually be a little bit scary to think about. What I've found from people I know who've gone through this process, there can be a few weeks that are difficult. It actually is like a true detox process. The first 2 weeks can be uncomfortable. You feel a little bit anxious. You feel like you're missing a limb. But after that, things settle down, and actually life after social media can be quite positive. There's 2 things I can report back to you from the world of no social media use. First, it can be quite productive. So I'm a professor at a research institution. I've written 5 books. I rarely work past 5 p.m. on the weekdays. Part of the way I'm able to pull that off is because it turns out if you treat your attention with respect, so you don't fragment it, you allow it to stay whole, you preserve your ability to concentrate. When it comes time to work, you can actually do one thing after another and do it with intensity. And intensity can be traded for time. It's surprising how much you can get done in an 8-hour day if you're able to give each thing intense concentration after another. Something else I can report back from life without social media is that outside of work, things can be quite peaceful. So I often joke I'd be very comfortable being a 1930s farmer because if you look at my leisure time, I read newspaper while the sun comes up. I listen to baseball on the radio. I, honest to God, sit in a leather chair and read hardcover books at night after my kids go to bed. It sounds old-fashioned, but I'll tell you, they were onto something back then. It's actually a restorative, very peaceful way to actually spend your time out of work. You don't have the constant hum of stimuli and the background hum of anxiety that comes along with that. So life without social media is really not so bad. So we pull together these threads, and you see my full argument for why I think not everyone, but certainly much more people than right now use social media. Much more people should not be using social media. And that's because we can first, to summarize, discard with the main concerns that somehow it's a fundamental technology you have to use. Nonsense. It's a slot machine in your phone. We can discard with this notion that you're not going to get a job if you don't use social media. Nonsense. Anything a 16-year-old with a smartphone can do is not going to be what the market rewards. And then I emphasize the point that there's real harms with it. So it's not just harmless. You really would have to have a significant benefit before you would actually say this trade-off is worth it. And finally, I noted that life without social media, there's real positives associated with it. So I'm hoping that when many of you actually go through this same calculus, you'll at least consider the perspective I'm making right now, which is many more people would be much better off if they didn't use this technology. Now, of course, some of you might disagree. Some of you might have scathing but accurate critiques of me and my points. And of course, I welcome all negative feedback. I just ask that you direct your comments towards Twitter. Thank you.